गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे ओम शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इंद्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Sixth Anuvak we will read page 48. Saya eshontar hridaya akashah tasminnayam purusho manomayah amruto hiranmayah antarena taluge eshastana ivavalambate sehendrayonihi यत्रासौ केशान्तो विवर्तते व्यपोह्य शीर्षकपाले भूरित्यग्नौ प्रतिष्ठति भुव इति वायौ सुवरित्यादित्ये महिति ब्रह्मणि आप्नोति स्वाराज्यम् आप्नोति मनसस्पतिम् वाक्पतिश्चक्षुष्पतिः श्रोत्रपतिर्विज्ञानपतिः एतत्ततो भवति आकाशशरीरं ब्रह्म सत्यात्मप्राणारामं मन आनन्दम् शान्तिसमृद्धममृतम् इति प्राचीनयोगोपास्व. भूर्भुवस्सुव स्वरूपा मह इति एतस्य व्यावृत्यात्मनः ब्रह्मणः अंगानि अन्या देवता इति उक्तम्. यस्यता अंगभूतस्य एतस्य ब्रह्मणः साक्षात् उपलब्ध्यर्थम् उपासनार्थं च हृदय आकाशः स्थानम् उच्यते शालग्रामे इव विष्णोः. Having told through this Vyavruti Upasana about the reality, the truth, the Brahman, then this reality has to be recognized by us as Atmatvena. This is one of the most difficult problem for every seeker. The truth is recognized objectively. And as long as the truth is recognized objectively, we are far away from the reality. And therefore, first the truth has to be recognized Atmatvena subjectively, and then the next step is that this reality, this truth, which we have recognized as our own self, is subsequently recognized as the substratum of Jiva Jagat Ishvara. And in this manner, Brahmatmaikya Bodha takes place. So, for that, Upalabdhi Sthana is to be pointed out. And therefore, the Upalabdhi Sthana is given. Saya Eshontara Hridaye Akashaha Tasminnayam Purusho Manomayaha. So what is done first? First of all, the attention is drawn to this Jiva. And who is the Jiva? Manomaya Purusha. Manomaya Purusha means the Supreme Self reflected in the conditioning of mind and thereafter behaving as if mind, and therefore the mind getting identified with the gross body, so the reality starts assuming as if I am a gross body. This assumption of one's status with reference to the limitation or upadhi is called as jiva bhava. So first of all, we recognize this principle. So, manomayaha purushaha. Now after we have come to this Supreme Self reflected in the Vijnanamaya Kosh and thereby called as the Jiva, what is the nature of this? Amruto Hiranmayaha is immortal essentially and Hiranmayaha self-effulgent. After having said this, now we have a clear picture about what this Jiva is, that this Jiva is someone who is other than the gross body, who is living in this gross body, and when that Jiva leaves the gross body, then the gross body is dead, and therefore what happens to this Jiva? This is the second step on the path of inquiry. So we are told, Antarena taluke ya eshastana ivavalambate sendra yoni. This is the path, yoni is the marga, path. So it is the path by which this Jiva goes out of this body. And it is Indra yoni. Sa Indra yoni, Sendra yoni. So it is the yoni, the path which leads the Jiva to the Supreme Self. Which is this path? Ya eshastana ivavalambate. The masakhanda, a piece of muscle hanging in our throat, and then through that the Jiva migrates. Yatrasau keshanto vivartate. The Sushumna Nadi goes through that up to the Keshanta, and from there having Vyapoya Shircha Kapale broken, then the Jiva goes and gets established either in Bhuloka or Bhuvaloka or Suvaloka. We have seen these three Vyavritis, and the fourth is the Mahaloka. So when this Jiva has done his Upasana on the Bhu Vyavriti, meaning when he lived the life at the level of the gross body. What is gross body? It is nothing but established in fire, because it is the form. All the forms are supported by fire. Therefore, when this Jiva is doing his Upasana with reference to the gross body, then Agno Pratidishtati, etc. Now, this is up to this point we have come. Now let us say what happens. I am reading on page 51. Taya evam vidvan manomayatmadarshi murdha vinishkramya asya lokasya adhisthana bhu iti vyavrati rupaha yaha agni mahataha brahmanaha angabhuta tasmin agno pratitishthati agnatmanam agnatmana imam lokam prapnoti ityarthaha. So when this Jiva has lived and done the Upasana for the Bhuloka with reference to the gross body, then after he leaves this present body, again he is given this Agni, which is the Swarupa of this gross body. So, imam lokam prapnoti ityarthaha. Then, tatha bhuva iti dvitiya vyavrityatmani vayav prapnoti. So, when he is doing his upasana with the pranamaya kosh, then he goes to the vayu. That means individual vayu is merged with the total vayu. Then, shuva iti tritiya vyavrityatmani aditya. And with the third vyavriti, he becomes one with the aditya, the sun. And Mahati Angini Chaturtha Vyavrutyatmani Brahmani Pratidishtati. And when he is doing Upasana on the Maha, the Chaturtha Vyavruti, he gets established in the Brahman. This we have already done. I am just going through, because a lot of yugas have gone in between. Which Taittiriya Upanishad, when we have heard. So, Teshu Atma Bhavena Stitva Apnoti Brahma Bhutaha Swarajyam Swarat Bhavam Swayameva Rajati Patir Bhavati. So, having got established on or in this Agni, that means the Bhu Vyavriti, then Swarat Bhavam Swayameva Rajati Patir Bhavati. He gets identified with the total gross bodies. We have seen in our Sadachar how there is identity between the individual gross body and the total gross body. Sthula Vairajayo Aikyam, Sukshma Hiranya Garvayoho, and then Ajnana Mayayo Aikyam, and Pratyak Vijnana Purnayoho. So this is what is being said over here. So when the Upasana is done of the Bhu Vyahriti, that means when we transcend the limitation of our gross body and able to be or live at the level of the total gross body, then alone we have grown spiritually. So, Anga Bhutanam Devanam Yatha Brahma Devascha Sarvasmai Balim Avahanti Anga Bhutani Yatha Brahmane. And when this happens, what happens? That he is satisfied with all the comforts that are given to any body, because now his identification is not with one body. Now when my identification is only with my body, then I am concerned only about my comforts. I want nice something to sit, I want a nice bed to sleep, I want a nice place to stay, because I am this body. But when my concern is for everybody, then my attention is not limited to one body, but the totality. And then when a person thus lives for everybody, then all the people serve him without any efforts. This is what is meant here. Sarvasmai balim avahanti anga bhuta yatha brahmane. So just like the everything is offered to the Brahman in the same manner, when this one individual is not living for himself, but for the totality. That is why when we serve the society sincerely with all our efforts, without even this much of laziness, you will see what is required for our body, the society takes care. What is required for our health, the society takes care of. What is required for our clothing, the society gives us. Because now this body is not owned by me alone, but all those people who are benefited by, because this body is now serving everybody in whatever capacity. And in this manner, Sarvai Deva Sarvasmai Balim Avahanti Anga Bhuta Yatha Brahmane. Further, Apnoti Manasaspati. Now up to here we had come last time. Now Apnoti Manasaspati. He attained the status of Manaspati. Manaspati means he becomes the Swami, the controller of the total mind. Now see how important it is. What is the total mind's controller? Sarvesham hi manasam patihi sarvatmakatvat brahmanaha. Now because he has now given up the individual mind limitation, therefore he is now no more limited by his thoughts, his mind and his sorrows and his joys, but now he is identified with the total mind. And this is where we see that when we tell other person something, they don't listen to us. But when the same thing is told by some saint and sage who is no more limited in his small cocoony existence, but he who has grown out of the limitation of the individual mind and he is now one with the totality, then his one word changes the total attitude of the listener. Why this happens? Because now he is no more ruling his mind alone, but his ruling is on the total mind. And this is how we see in this world that these big politicians, etc., when they say, all the people say yes, yes, but in the heart of the heart they say no. But when a saint or a sage who does not claim to be something great, But only their one word is able to change the attitude, the decisions and the direction of one's life. Because now they are Manasaspatim. So, if you remember, I told you probably this. There was a great Mahatma who went to a teacher and said, I can't take the Lord's name. My mind is so restless. Please help me. He said, now say, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. So he said, go. And then he continued the Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram jap for 15 days continuously. Then he said, I understood. Unnecessarily I went to that Mahatma. Yeah, aisa कहना है. And at the moment this thought came in his mind, immediately switched off. And then he tried his best. But again all unwanted thoughts will peep in. Then again he goes to that Mahatma. Last time I came, I could do it for 15 days. But again he stopped. He said, you could do it. Manasaspatim, I have told your mind to behave properly. Therefore that mind was behaving properly. How long will you take Udharika Sauda? You have to have your own control. And how this happens? This is not Jadu, Manasaspatim. When we are able to control our mind fully, then alone we are able to touch the minds of others. But when our mind is not under our control, constantly shattered with hopes and distress, constantly shattered in the past and the future, such a mind can achieve nothing, no inner strength is developed. So, here, apnoti manasaspatim, he who has done the sadhana, upasana, that is why these are all the topics of upasana. Upasana is very, very essential. That is why when we do the puja of our different vigrahas, that time we grow out of our vigraha, gross body. When we chant the mantras for the Lord, our vani becomes pure. When we think of the Lord, our mind grows, not in the small little things. And this is how by this upasana, we learn to transcend the limitations of individual body, individuality. That is the necessity that every day we must spend half an hour, 1 hour for doing our puja archa. Many places they try to do it, but either they will employ somebody who will come and do that, or it is the prarabdha of those gods. They may get bath once in a blue moon, or maybe once in 2-3 years, and then those gods remain only as the decoration pieces in the drawing rooms. I have got about 48 types of Ganapati. Look here. So Ganapati is not a decoration piece, but they are to be worshipped and upasana done. So, apnoti manasaspatim, sarvesham hi manasam patihi sarvatmakatvad brahmanaha. Because the Brahman is the substratum of everything, and he also thus grows to that extent. Sarvaihi manobhihi tan manute tadvan apnoti vidvan evam. And in this manner, by his own mind, he is able to perceive what is going on in every mind. And therefore, such a master, he doesn't have to struggle to tell something to somebody which is exactly required. What struggle the mirror will have to reflect an object when it comes in front of? Will the mirror have to struggle when a good person comes? The mirror will sit properly. Acha admi aaya. No. And if a fool comes, the mirror doesn't have to close the eyes. It is natural for the mirror to reflect whatever comes. In the same manner, when this mind has become sufficiently pure, clean, undisturbed by any raga dvesha, then such a person is able to as if read. So what they call reading of the mind, it is not reading of the mind. It is in our mind, all the thoughts in other minds are clearly reflected. And how much struggle it will take for the mirror to recognize what is reflected in it? Nothing. In the same manner. So, sarvaihi manobhihi tan manute. He is able to think through every mind. He is able to control every mind. So, tadvan apnoti prapnoti vidvan. And thus, he is able to attain this status through his upasana. Kimcha vakpatihi sarvasam vacham patir bhavati. And not only that, kincha vakpatihi bhavati. Vakpatihi bhavati means sarvasam vacham patihi bhavati. He becomes the pati of all the speech. How? Many times it happens that when we go for our lectures here and there, the other day, one of our students, I told you have to go and talk in Hindi. Not much foundation in Hindi. I said, go talk. Don't bother about English. English is not required. Talk in Hindi. Swamiji, I don't know anything. How will I talk? I said, you will never talk. You don't worry about what will happen. It is the prarabdha of the public. You go and talk. And after the talk was over, one talk, and there was a total metamorphosis. So we imagine that we are talking. The moment we surrender ourselves to the teacher, to the Lord, to the scriptures, you will see that vakpatihi, the control over the speech automatically comes. It is not the vocabulary which makes a speech. What makes a speech is the right expression with the right emphasis. When this happens, then alone our speech becomes creative and communicates perfectly. So, kim cha vakpatihi sarvasam vacha patihi bhavati. Tatha eva chakshushpati chakshusham patihi, shrotrapati shrotranam patihi, vijnanapatihi vijnanam cha patihi, sarvatpakatvad sarva praninam karanaihi tadvan bhavati ityarthaha. In short, he is able to function through any equipment as his free will. Now see how beautiful it is. Because now he is no more limited by his individual organ of speech. He is no more limited by the individual eyesight. But because he is now the substratum of the totality, so as much I am able to see through my eyes, that much when I am able to see through your eyes, then I have become Chakshushpati. And what is that position? That position is when we are no more conditioned and limited by the limited knowledge that we get. This is what is called as the vision of intuition. In this vision of intuition, we are able to recognize whether that person tells or not from every angle. It is something like this example I gave you earlier. When few things are kept in the center and about a dozen children are asked to sit around and draw the drawing, and they are asked to change their drawings and correct it, so all of them will say it is wrong, because their vision is individual vision and conditioned by that particular angle. But when the teacher who is not present there, who is given only the papers, only by looking at the papers he will be able to tell which student was sitting where and how this is right. Because his vision is now no more conditioned by one particular angle. In the same manner, when this wise man through his upasana has grown out of the limitations of the individuality, he is able to look at the situation from all possible angles. And when we are able to look at the situation from all possible angles, then alone we will have the correct assessment. And when we will have correct assessment, then we will never have biasness in our mind. What is biasness? Biasness is my perception is correct and valid and not that of others. And when this biasness comes, our vision is polluted. Therefore, sarvatmakatvad sarva praninam karanaihi tadvan bhavati ityartaha. further. Kincha, not only this. Tataha api adhikataram etad bhavati kim tat uchyate. Not only that, he even grows more than this in his upasana. What is more growth? Uchyate, it is said. Akasha shariram brahma. So what is Akasha sharira? So Akashaha shariram asya iti Akasha sharira. Now for him, the whole Akasha, the space is his body. Now imagine, when the space becomes our body, what it means? It doesn't mean that we start feeling thinny. It is not that. When the space is my body, means what? The space is untouched by the air, the space is untouched by the fire, the space is not influenced by the waters, the space is not troubled by the earth, as well as their qualifications and the modifications. That is what is meant by space. So when it is said Akasha Shariram, so in the same manner, that great master, he will live very much in this world of Pancha Mahabhutas. He will live very much in this world of likes and dislikes. He will live very much in this world where there is a constant fight of ahanta and mamata. And yet, he will not be influenced by any one of them, like the space is not influenced by the remaining four great elements. This is the meaning of Akasha Shariram Brahma. Or another meaning Bhagavan Shankaracharya gives, Akasha Vadva Sukshmam Shariram iti Akasha Shariram. Or his Sharira body becomes Sukshma, as subtle as that of the space. What is the subtlety of the space? Subtlety of the space is, although space is supporting all the remaining four elements, space is not carrying these four elements as a burden. So when the wise man lives in this world, he does not carry the burden of his life. He does not carry the burden of his problems. And that is how the wise people are able to be with all kinds of people. As child as a stupid child who is crying for eating the nails, or a teenager all the time Honda brand, or a middle-aged one neither ghar ka na ghat ka, or a serious student who is highly contemplative. With every one of them, how this wise man is able to be at home? Only because of this Akasha Shariram Brahma. He has grown to that subtlety that he is able to decide and be with every age group without carrying the load of that age group. He is able to be in every place without getting influenced by the limitations of this place. And in this manner, Akasha Shariram Asya Akasha Vadva Sukshmam Shariram iti Akasha Shariram. Kim tat? What is that? Tat Prakrutam Brahma. So Akasha Shariram, what is that? It is the Brahma what we are talking about in this topic. So Prakrutam Brahma. Now this reality referred here as Brahma, Prakrutam Brahma, Satyatma Pranaramam. Now what is the meaning of Satyatma? Satyatma means Satyam Murta Murta Avitatham Swarupam Cha Atma Swabhavaha Asya Tat Idam Satyatma. Satyatma means Satyam, that reality, Murta Amurta Avitatham. Murtam is manifest, Amurtam is unmanifest. Or Murtam is with form, Amurtam is without form. So that it is with form and without form. And avitatham swarupam cha, whether it is expressing with a particular form or not expressing with a particular form, and yet avitatham. Avitatham means tatha means as it is. So when this book is called as a book, tatha, tathastu, as it is. And atatha means not as it is. And avitatham means exactly as it is. Therefore, Satyatma means Murta, Amurta, Avitatham. So that which remains unchanged, irrespective of manifestation and unmanifestation. This is the Swarupam cha Atma, and that is our essential nature. Swabhavasya tat idam satyatma. And in this manner, this Brahman is recognized as the immutable, as it is, in spite of all the changes. And Pranaramam. Pranarama means Praneshu aramaha akrida yasya tat pranaramam. That one which is sporting in life are the pranas. So the Supreme Reality is sporting through this whole animate or sentient creation. So by the word Satyatma was referring to the objective world. So the total objective world with form and without form is supported by this reality without getting influenced by the forms or the formlessness, and the same reality is also sporting, doing krida, sporting through the total life's expression, and thus the same reality is simultaneously the objective world as well as the subjective conscious experience. So another meaning, prananam va aramaha yasmin tat pranaramam. Or all the pranas, all the beings, they discover aram, fulfillment in this reality. That is what is called as pranaramam. Mana anandam. Mana anandam means ananda bhutam, sukha krutam, is ever blissful and joyful, never crying for anything. See, whether you study Bhagavad Gita or any Upanishad or any Prakaran Grantha, only one thing learn in 2 years. Mana Anandam. This is the one sadhana if we do. You will see there is a lot of change and difference in our present attitude. If we are constantly having that frustrated attitude, constantly shouting at each other and trying to make our own point, nothing. Yesterday I was talking to our servants, small issue. He has taken my paste and the cover was gone, and therefore I show such a small thing easy to make somebody upset. So when I talked to them, after talking, I said, now everything is over. Now, before you go, little satsang. What is that? You all know our Shivdas was staying here. Yes, where is he? You, me, will also go there. Today, after Shivdas has gone, everybody spoke good of him because he was good to everybody. When you and me will go, acha ho gaya, janjat khatam. Because our nuisance value was very high. Think. That is why again and again we have to remind ourselves that unless we are aware of this fact in life, that any day is our last day, and that last few days that we have to stay in this world, what is there to become miserable and make others miserable and shout, when I want this, take the whole thing, why? Be relaxed. Therefore, please understand, as long as we are possessive of anything in this world, we will suffer. When we belong, we don't suffer. Then who suffer? The one who takes us. But when we possess this world, we suffer. When we possess our children, we suffer. When we possess our property, we suffer. When we possess our nears and dears, we suffer. When we possess our guru, we suffer. Guru means heavy. Try to possess the guru. This is my guru. How can Swamiji go and talk to them and not to me? I have been waiting. W-E-T-T-I-N-G. Veto, who cares? So as long as this possessive attitude remains in life, we suffer. Therefore there is only one sadhana, mana anandam. Because all that we do, whether we do our sadhana or we don't do our sadhana, what is the purpose? Purpose is not to become miserable. The other day about that, this various Balvihar, Sevak, Sevika, Yuva Kendra or study group people, then they come and then again complain. So only one question I asked them, what for you are doing it? Forget about everything. Are you doing it to become miserable? If you are doing for that, you are getting it. So continue. And if you are doing all these things to discover happiness, are you getting it? No. So you are doing something wrong. Stop it. By stopping this, if you can become happy, you are highest spiritual. Mana Anandam. You cannot justify being miserable and again continuing the same thing. Have the courage to give up and never compromise with the joy, the bliss that our mind should always be in. So anything which will disturb us, make us miserable, is not worthy of association with. Suppose I become disturbed because of A, and it is impossible to imagine that I will not become disturbed because of anybody in this world. It is not possible. Then what is to be done? Keep yourself away from A. Suppose you get disturbed by S, 1 or 2. So keep away and protect the peace of your own mind. Mana Anandam. Nothing can ever justify that we are miserable. Yesterday we are seen in Bhagavat, Sutaji was telling, rather our Brahaspatiji was telling to Janmejay that nobody kills anybody, nobody is disturbed by anybody. We are all getting exactly what we have ordered. If we order, get the passenger list. And then we say, why this passenger list are brought? You have ordered. In the same manner, Mana Anandam. Ananda Bhutam Sukhakrud eva yasya manaha tan Mana Anandam Shanti Samruddham. Now see another most beautiful. What is Shanti? Shanti is Shanti Upashamaha. Shanti means total withdrawal. That is called a Shanti. We are all becoming awfully ashanta to get Shanti. So what we do as a frustrating effort, give the name Shanti Sadan. And you enter that Sadan, there is not any corner where there is a Shanti. Constantly Dharma Kshetre, Kuru Kshetre continues. So what is Shanti? Shanti is Upashamaha. Upashamaha means discovery of peace when we come closer to our own essential self. As long as we will be going away to the periphery, away from the core, the center that we are, there cannot be peace. Therefore, Shanti, Upashamaha, and Shantischa tat sabruddham cha, Shanti samruddham. So, samruddhi means growth. Samruddhi means prosperity. So, he who has discovered the Shanti Upashama, he alone can be prosperous in the material world as well as in the spiritual world. For example, those people, take our great politicians, how much Shanti they have? They have consumed crores and millions. But how Shanti, prosperous. So when you want to achieve prosperity in the outer world, what is required? Our equipoise has to be kept intact. And when Samruddham, when this Shanti grows in its infinite status, we attain oneness with the Supreme. So Shantya va Samruddham tat upalabhyati iti Shanti Samruddham. So it is through this withdrawal Upashama alone that Brahma upalabhyate is attained. and therefore Shanti Samruddham. So this Brahma Tattva is called as Shanti Samruddham. Then Amritam, Amarana Dharmi. Amritam is that having gained which there is no possibility of subsequent loss. This is another thing. Whenever anything is forgotten or lost, or there is a fear of forgetfulness or loss, we are not talking about the reality. There is no fear of forgetfulness in the knowledge of the self. There is no fear of loss of the self, because it is aheyam anupadeyam. So that which cannot be lost is the reality, because that is our own essential nature. Therefore, amrutam amarana dharmi etaccha adhikarana vishesham tatraiva manomaya ityadu drashtavyam iti. Now see, this is the most important portion. And etaccha adhikaranam vishesham tatra eva manomaya ityad manomaye drashtavyam iti. Now this is what we have to understand like this. We are not yet come to Paramatma. This Jivatma, having separated himself from the Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, and now this Vijnanamaya doing his sadhana with purification, and when he leaves this body, he goes through the top gate and attains oneness with the Bhulok, Bhuva, Suva, etc. And when he has thus grown slowly, and when he is again born, thereafter he doesn't have to leave the body. While very much in this body, he is able to be one with the total gross world. While very much in this Pranamaya Kosh, he is able to be one with the total Pranamaya Kosh. While very much in this Manomaya Kosh, he is able to control the total mind. And this is how it is said, etaccha adhikarana visheshanam tatraiva manomaya. So on this adhikarana vishesham, therefore here the Brahma Tattva is now recognized as the Jiva. So first we have to recognize the Brahma Tattva, the reality, as the Jiva Bhava, and then only we go further, the inquiry about what is the nature of this Jiva. And then we come to know that Jiva Bhava is temporary, but that on which Jiva Bhava is superimposed, that reality is our essential nature, and therefore Amruto Hiranmayaha. Then we understand the correct meaning. That is the meaning of the word Purusha, we have told you last time. So, एवं मनोमयत्वादि धर्मैहि विशिष्टम यथोक्तम ब्रह्म हे प्राचीन योग्य उपास्व इति आचार्य वचनोक्ति आदरार्था. And therefore, एवं in this manner मनोमयत्वादि धर्मैहि विशिष्टम ब्रह्म. So therefore, first of all, we have to recognize the Brahma, the Paramatma, as the Jivatma, not otherwise. Now see, if we have not recognized the Paramatma in the first step as Jivatma, what will happen? I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect. The world is mithya. बहुत भूख लगी है, feeling very hungry. But the world is mithya. Hunger is real. So this world is mithya. I am not the body, I am not the mind. These are only words without any meaning. Please understand, this is a basic important thing to be clearly recognized. So first we recognize ourselves to be someone other than the Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya. Annamaya is Ayatanam, the abode where we stay, house, an ambulance. Then Pranamaya is the battery, which gives us the required energy. Manomaya is the internet. And for whom are these three? These three are for the Vijnanamaya, who is using these three as his instrument. Mind is the instrument of knowledge. Pranamaya Kosha is the energy, and Annamaya Kosha is the house where he is staying. So unless we recognize this Vijnanamaya clearly, distinctly, and do sadhana for this Vijnanamaya, then alone we have grown out of the limitation of this Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya. Now see, when I have recognized that I am this Jiva who is other than these three, where will be my attention? My attention will not be limited with reference to this body. My attention will not be limited with reference to this particular life. But my attention will be, if I utilize this opportunity to do my sadhana, then alone in the next life I will be able to grow spiritually. And once, be very attentive, once this is clearly understood by us, then our focus will not be the immediate losses and gains. Our focus will be on Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe Yoga Bhrashto Vijayate Athava Yoginam Eva Kule Bhavati Dhimatam. Then we will prepare ourselves for our next life. And how we will prepare ourselves for the next life? Only when we will lead a most decent life of spiritual orientation out of small little things. Tasmat tvam indriyani adav niyamya. Then comes the mind and then comes the intellect. So when we slowly and steadily lead a life of self-control, and then we grow individual wretched body identification. Till this has been inaugurated in our life, we are nowhere near even Sakinaka. Nowhere. Forget coming to Sandipani. Therefore, is dedicated only for this upasana. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. The world is Mithya, world is Mithya. Kuch nahi hai. The world is real. Everything is real. Other than the Paramatma, there is nothing else. Once this is the goal to be reached, the goal is clear. Now the path, Upalabdhi Marga. Where this Paramatma is available, where everywhere it is there. I don't see anywhere. This is Bombay English. So, when I don't see that Paramatma anywhere, then we are told, Apne andar jhako, Esha antar hridaya akashaha, tasmin ayam purushaha manomayaha, amruto hiranmayaha, antarena daluke, saishastana ivavalang lambate, sendrayoni, yatrasau kesho vivartate, vyapohya shirshakapale. Then bhuriti agnau pratidishtati ayau suhati aditye mahiti brahmani. Now grow presently in this body, in this thing, my room, my paper, my die. It is so essential that we grow out of these limitations of this particular life. Somebody asked me, Swamiji, since when you are on this line? I said, Prabhu, ye is janam ka nahi hai. It is not belonging to this life. This is continuous. It is not only in this life. So he was telling me, Swamiji, I have got big business, and many times I feel that enough of earning money. Now I should do Samaj Seva. I said, never do that from your Seva. Let them live happily. Why do you persecute them by your wisdom? What I should do? I said, look here. When it will be required, he said, no, Swamiji, I want to become like you. I said, don't become like me. You are required to go through this experience of having a wife, having a business, having a son and a daughter. Now they are studying. This is the requirement of your life. And now when this particular thought has come in your mind that you want to renounce, so don't renounce. You continue, and you have to take some more kicks. And by the time you will leave this body, you will have so much of dispassion. Next life you will be born. Right from the childhood, first day onward, the mother will require, Beta, what do you want to play? Come and do. We will not ask for, I want a car. The dispassion has grown to such a perfection that nothing in this worldly things will ever attract your mind. So don't, in this life only I want to finish. What is the hurry? Agla janam hai. And therefore this upasana is very, very essential. Then what is this upasana? Upasana is by which we come out of the limitations of annamay, pranamay, mano. Upasana is done only for these three koshas. So when we lead a life and dedicate our every action to the Lord and lead a life with understanding, three things of Karma Yoga. One is leading an intelligent life with understanding. Second is leading the life with the what is ought to be done must be done. And the third thing, the karma, the actions are offered to the Lord. When these three things are alone, we grow out of annamaya kosh, pranamaya kosh, manomaya kosh. And when this happens, then this jiva is freed from the luggage of NRI. Whenever an NRI comes to India, he comes to India with a view that in India there is no air available, in India there is no water available, and here people are yogi, living without anything available. So they bring truckloads, and wherever they go they will carry those 7 suitcases on the back here and there. Like we have got Panchakosha, they have got 7. And then it is very difficult to travel in India, naturally. 5 plus 7. 12 koshas you are carrying. Naturally it will be big load. For this Vijnanamaya, when the life is lived like this thing, then you will see this Vijnanamaya, Vyapoya Shirsha Kapale. Now just watch in your own mind. This body is the place where we are staying. The pranamaya kosh, when we take food etc., the energy is supplied. The manomaya kosh, through which we don't hear. Isn't it? And for whom is the body? Is the body for the sake of body? No. The car is not for the sake of the car. The car is for the sake of some bekar. It is not for the sake of the car. Similarly, the petrol is not for the sake of the petrol. It is meant for someone else. And so also, the various kinds of instruments of knowledge, such as the mind, it is not for the sake of the mind. Then all these annamaya, pranamaya, manomaya, these three koshas are meant for someone who is other than them and who is supposed to be the master of these three. Alas, he becomes a slave, living as a body, for the body, on the body, in the body, and growing out of the body. Living only for the pranamaya kosh, from morning till evening, eating fast food, and all the time leading the life at the level of the mind, constantly ka. He said like this, she said like this, they said like this, all said like this. No meaning. So when we have decided this is our personality, then I am this Vijnanamaya, for whom this gross body is, for whom this Manomaya Kosh, Pranamaya Kosh is. So when I stand apart, how can they ever disturb me? How can they ever control me? This recognition is the fulfillment of all our upasana. And when we grow out of our gross body, then only we can serve others. When we grow out of our own hunger and thirst, then we discover joy in feeding others. When we grow out of our own minds, small problems and miseries, he said like that, she said like that, then only we can appreciate the difficulties and the problems of others with sympathy and understanding. And in this manner, growth is called here, bhu iti agno pratitishthati, bhuva iti vayo pratitishthati, suva iti aditye pratitishthati, and maha iti brahmani pratitishthati. So this maha is referring to this Vijnanamaya Kosh. Then this Vijnanamaya Kosh, he discovers his essential self to be the substratum of the total world. And evam manomayatvadi dharmaihi vishishtam yathoktam brahma he prachina yogya upasva iti acharya vachanokti adarartha. And therefore, he prachina yogya, this was the name of the student to whom the teacher must have addressed. He prachina yogya manomayatvadi vishishta dharmaihi yathoktam brahma upasva. First of all, recognize the Brahma with reference to this Vijnanamaya Kosh. And for this Vijnanamaya Kosh, no, Manomaya, Pranamaya and Annamaya, they are his instrument. In this manner, first of all, do the Upasana. This is first stage. Without doing this, suddenly sitting for meditation, and then I am feeling very funny. You don't feel funny, you are funny. Because all these are only imagination, hallucinations of the mind. So, upasva iti acharya vachanokti. This is the instruction given by the acharya, the teacher. And uktastu upasana shabdartha. And we have already explained what is the meaning of upasana. Upasana was already explained earlier, wherein we have seen upasana means when we keep the same thought without the interruption by any other thought, and when the upasana is according to Shastra Paddhati. So here it is said upasanam cha yatha shastram tulya pratyaya santatihi asankirna cha atat pratyayaihi shastrokta alambana vishayacha. This is upasana. When shastra tulya pratyaya santati, what is given in the scriptures, according to that unbroken thought, and second thing asankirna cha atat pratyayaihi, and there is no disruption by a dissimilar thought, and shastrokta alambana vishaya, and this has to be done according to the scriptural injunctions, not our own way. Like one person in Kolhapur or somewhere, he does the upasana of a donkey. He must be the devotee of Shitala Devi. Now Shitala Mata's, the Vahan is donkey. And he tells, he has kept a big photograph of a donkey, standing there, Sthita Prajnasya Kabhasha, Samadhistasya Keshava. And he says, because he is a really ideal thing to be followed in life. Now this is not Shastra Tulya. Therefore, if we have to do the upasana, we have to do upasana according to the scriptural injunctions, not our own way. Maybe next life we will go there. Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.